Call this meeting to order. Jamestown City Council work session for Monday, April 11th. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Here.
Brackman.
Here.
Garuba.
Here.
Reynolds.
Here.
Faulkner.
Here.
Echols.
Here.
DeVesa.
Here.
Russell. and President Brooks.
We do have a couple presentations this evening. So I asked Kelly Roberts to go first from Chicago County Humane Society to discuss the TNVR program. Okay.
From my seat.
You can, well,
Okay.
come up.
We have been working with the city on the TNVR program for community cats. And TNVR is trap, neuter, vaccinate, and return. And community cats are any cats that are not owned. So they may be feral, not tame cats, or they may be friendly cats that just don't have a home. And we know that they are all around the city, and some people are taking care of them right now. But we have been working on this ordinance to make it more official, that it's okay to do that, and what the rules are for that type of program. And it's been difficult previously to get this going because we just lack the veterinary services that are necessary. And we still don't know what numbers of cats are going to come to us and if we're going to be able to meet that need. But we have to start somewhere, and we were able to get some surgery slots a couple times a month up at Operation Pets in Blaisdell. So the cats will be taking a trip up there to have surgery and then returning the same day. And the way that the program works is that folks in the community, what we call colony caregivers, they feed these cats, they take care of them, watch out for them. A lot of them try to get them spayed and neutered on their own, as it is already. So we want to help them, and we want to let people know that it's okay to do that. And again, following the rules to make sure that they're being good citizens, that this is an improvement for the community. Because as it is right now, the cats are out there, they're being cared for, but perhaps not, to the level that we might like to see. So we will be, this particular program is just going to be for the city of Jamestown until roughly October, November for this year and next year, and then we'll see where it goes after that. We will be continuing to do these surgeries for community cats at the Humane Society that don't live in Jamestown right now. If there's a cat from outside the area, we'll continue to provide those services over at CCHS. But this program, we got a really good rate for the surgeries up at Operation Pets, and it's actually less than it would cost us to do it here. We just have to provide the body for the cats up and back. So we're really excited about it. We know that the need is out there, and we also think not as only going to be good for the cats, it's going to be support for the caregivers. And I just think overall, the quality of life for the cats and the people in the community will be higher. There will be less problems related to the cats because they'll be getting better care. So we're excited about getting started.
Is there any questions about the program? I know it was discussed in public safety, and Brent, you probably cover that in your report.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions?
I'll ask it during my report.
Okay. Very good, thank you. And we also have tonight our hosts tonight, Western Region staff, will give us a little update on the zone. So, Keith?
We do have one person that has to zoom in. person who's zooming in begins the presentation.
The reason for this is our board member, John Mancuso, who's starting the presentation, was feeling a little under the weather, so he didn't feel comfortable coming in tonight, so he wanted to do it from his office. So that's why, so we're trying to get him on board.
No pressure. It's a great presentation.
I'm just saying, I'm glad she's doing all that, so I had no pressure. Most of you know that I'm not.
Can we get the game on while we're waiting?
Yeah.
There we go. There he is. All right, John, you're on.
All right. Hi, everybody.
Hi, John.
Well,
Good evening. This is very strange. I'm sorry that I can't be there in person. I've been feeling a little bit under the weather, so I certainly don't want to expose anybody there to anything that I have. I say it's strange because I'm like 3 or 4 blocks away joining all of you by Zoom. But I'm really happy that you're here tonight at the arena. I'm sure I know many of you, if not most of you, but for those who don't know me, my name is John Mancuso. I'm a city resident. I was really lucky to have been born and raised in the city, and even more lucky to have had the opportunity to return here after college and put down roots of my own with my wife. And we have 3 little kids, and we live in the city, and we're really, really happy that we made the decision to return to this community. I'm here tonight not only as a city resident, but also as a member of the board of directors of the Jamestown Center City Development Corporation, which is a New York State not-for-profit corporation responsible for managing the arena that you all are in tonight. I'm a volunteer board member along with 14 other members of the community, and it's really special that you guys are here. I think this is unprecedented, so thank you so much for holding your public sessions here at the arena. It's really meaningful for everybody who's associated with the arena for you to do that, and thank you for deliberating so carefully over all of these various projects in the community and how the federal funding can best be invested in the community. And thank you for hearing us out, most importantly, about the zone, which is a project that we're thrilled about, and we're thrilled to have the opportunity to talk about it with all of you tonight. The zone is going to be a one-of-a-kind, state-of-the-art play space for children right in the heart of downtown Jamestown. When I was thinking about talking with everybody, I was thinking about how fitting it is that we're celebrating our 20th anniversary this year, and you're able to join us during the year in which we celebrate our 20th anniversary. I think it's important to think a little bit about history when we're talking about the zone, and the history is that we wouldn't even be here at the arena tonight if it were not for the city and the support of the city and so many people in this community over the years, and we recognize that, and we thank you very much for that. If I can remember back to being a kid in the 1990s in Jamestown, there wasn't a whole lot going on downtown, if memory serves. My wife and I were just talking about it the other day, and I think maybe one of the most frequent excursions to downtown Jamestown may have been to Hills Department Store, if you can even call that part of downtown Jamestown, with grandma and grandpa to get a hot dog or popcorn or a fountain soda or something like that. Of course, we go to the Reg Lene for events, but the downtown of the 1990s doesn't even hold a candle to what all of you and what this community has accomplished together over the past 2 decades. 20 years ago, or maybe even 25 years ago, I think there was a recognition amongst community members, local government, the city, that there was a need for more ice space, an ice arena, maybe a more major ice arena. And a few things, if memory serves, came together around that time. By the way, I grew up skating at Allen Park Ice Rink. Maybe some of you did too, and I have really fond memories of that. I hope my children have the same fond memories that I did of Allen Park Ice Rink, but of learning how to skate at Northwest Arena, which is what they're doing now. But during that period, I think there was a recognition amongst the community that there was a need for more ice time and more ice space, and maybe Allen Park Ice Rink was nearing perhaps the end of its useful life, and also, to the credit of many of you and to the credit of many in this community, there was a recognition during that period that we needed to make major investments downtown, because young families and young people were making decisions about where to live based on whether there was a vibrant downtown or not. And so the credit goes to those in this community, including many of you who are sitting in this room, that we needed to make big investments in downtown, and the arena was part of that, but many, many others over the past 20 years, to the point where downtown is a special place, and I'm so grateful that we have it. The arena of today hosts 250,000 visitors per year, and it's not just hockey families and figure skating families. I can personally attest to that. We're not a hockey family or a figure skating family, neither myself or, unfortunately, my children too inherited my lack of grace on ice skates, but we're still users of the arena. Certainly we participate in the Learn to Skate program, which is a wonderful program for local kids. I go on Wednesday evenings, and there's families there, diverse families from all walks of life, not necessarily hockey families or figure skating families, who simply want to do something downtown and want to engage socially and recognize the importance of children engaging in active play and making new friends and spending time with existing friends. We have other really special programs at the arena, such as the Ice Bumper Cars program and the public open skate and the walking track, and we host hundreds of students during the course of the year on field trips who get to enjoy a little bit of ice bumper cars or skating, and Keith is going to have a little bit more on that a little bit later. So many special programs, not just really serious hockey and really serious figure skating are going on in this arena today, and I'm really grateful for that. But it's never enough to talk about what we're doing today, right? Same goes for the city. You're always planning for the future. You're always trying to figure out what are the best investments that we need to make now for the future. How do we best serve the city residents of the future? And we're doing the same thing at the arena, and we have been on this project, which is the zone, for the past few years. We're thrilled that the zone and the arena were both identified in the Jamestown Urban Design Plan 2.0 as important downtown landmarks, and we really, really want to deliver this zone project for the people of the city of Jamestown, especially for local kids in this community. The zone's going to be a really special place. I could go on and on about all the exhibits, but I know that most of you, if not all of you, have had the tour with Megan or Keith and heard about all the exhibits. You see the locker room there where you can design your own team jersey and then walk through the tunnel like you're walking through the tunnel at Bill's Stadium, or another stadium of your choice, and then it's this 5,000 square foot place for fun for kids. And critically important that it be ADA accessible. It's gonna be a year-round venue. We all know that there aren't a ton of things for kids to do indoors during the very long winter that we unfortunately have. This will be something that can play that role. And that's not taken away from the Tom Butterfaro League at the Y or any of the other indoor activities that are a possibility locally. We think quite the opposite. The opportunities for partnerships with organizations like the Eastside YMCA, the YMCA, the YWCA, the Jamestown Community Learning Council, the Boys and Girls Club, Chautauqua Striders, just to name very few, are really limitless. And the opportunity to be creative about bringing local kids into this space to have fun and experience something maybe that they wouldn't otherwise experience during their lives, I think is going to be really special. So for those reasons, this project is incredibly important to me personally and to everybody that's working on this at the arena. So again, thank you so much for being here this evening and hearing us about the zone. I'm going to turn it over to Megan at this time to talk more about what's going on at the arena and what the zone is going to be able to deliver for this community.
Thanks, John. I'm going to keep you around, but I'm going to turn off my camera. And I'm going to hide you. All right. All right. Thank you, everyone. As John mentioned, my name is Megan Arnone. I'm the Director of Marketing, Sales, and Communications at Northwest Arena. And we have Keith Martin with us as well. He's our Executive Director. I've met many of you. Most of the folks in the room have been through on a tour at some point or another. So we have a little bit of a different presentation in mind for you tonight. Northwest Arena is Jamestown's community center, the heart of indoor activity throughout the year. Ice happens to be our primary medium, but make no mistake, the work that we do here has a real impact on the lives of people who walk through our doors. Now we aim to open our doors wider and welcome even more people inside. Northwest Arena regularly hosts school groups, first responder trainings, support groups, business meetings, nonprofit events, and occasions of all sorts. We exist not to diminish any other cause, group, or organization, but to strengthen the very fabric of Jamestown, its people. After 20 years of living our mission, with the zone we are taking a bold step forward and renewing our promise to this city, which is to be both a driver of economic development and a youth recreation cause. And guess what? Our future is in the hands of our children. Zone, a children's museum for Jamestown. Because when communities create children's museums, they are opening their hands to hold and nurture their future. Those future leaders, dreamers, artists, scientists, teachers, and helpers who are today's children. A children's museum thus becomes a place of possibilities and promise, the very heart of the community. This is from Dr. Khan. The zone will provide a place to gather, promote development, and help form relationships among members of the community. These opportunities, especially those that are available year-round regardless of weather, are important. Getting children out of the house playing and interacting with other children is a key component of both social and emotional development. Play helps children understand the world around them and discover new ideas. So what is a children's museum? They are places where children learn through play and exploration in environments designed just for them. Reflecting their diverse communities, children's museums create playful, interactive learning experiences. In an increasingly complex world, children's museums provide a place where all kids can learn through play with the caring adult in their lives. And that definition comes from the Association of Children's Museums website. And the zone meets all of the criteria to become a member of the Association of Children's Museums. We have another sentiment from Miss Kristen Hockenberry. She's a 4th grade teacher at Bush Elementary School, and she's also a local athletics coach. Children's minds are constantly expanding. The more we are able to help them engage in learning through play, the more we can enhance the mastery of academic concepts while building motivation in students. When we can promote the social, emotional, and intellectual development of young learners through play, the more engaged our students will become in learning. 84% of kids in our community do not get enough play. That's the CDC recommends that youth get 1 hour of daily active play, and we know this figure to be true because of the State of Play, Western New York report from the Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Foundation and the Aspen Institute. And if you fast forward to today, in 2022, things have only become worse off, right? Kids have been greatly impacted by the pandemic. They're facing social isolation, even less activity, canceled opportunities for team sports and free play. You can read headlines, talk to parents and teachers. Youth inactivity and isolation is becoming its own pandemic. We know that many kids and families are ready to get back to play. We were able to open our doors to public programming this past October. And during the 3 months that we were open in 2021, we welcomed 5,000 guests for public skating and ice bumper cars. In all of 2019, during our regular 7-month public skating season, we hosted 7,000 guests. So the demand for indoor recreation is back for many of our community members. We want to point out that the zone, there we go. The zone at Northwest Arena lowers barriers to play in our community. It puts state-of-the-art possibilities at play to inspire kids to dream and grow. The zone is educational, fun, safe, engaging, weather-resistant, affordable, accessible, and inclusive. Affordable. So we're committed to ensuring that all children in our community have regular access to the zone, regardless of their family's socioeconomic status. We're going to achieve that by affordable entry. We know from operating public skating operations from 20 years that $10 is an attainable fee for most families in our community. That's why Chautauqua County residents can expect to pay $10 per child per visit, with non-residents paying slightly more. We also will offer multi-child discounts, complimentary admission for guardians outside of peak hours. Scholarships. All families will be invited to contribute to a play scholarship fund at the point of sale. This fund will support local nonprofit organizations, youth service agencies, and educational institution programming at the zone, as well as help subsidize entry fees for qualifying guests. And partnerships. The zone is a space for local organizations, youth service agencies, and educational institutions to host their own programming. Ensuring collaboration between our facility and these agencies is a critical component of our commitment to serving all local youth. So we are going to be hiring a full-time program director with background in childhood development, education, or something complementary, and a main priority for their position will be to build and maintain those relationships. We recently had the pleasure of touring Jen Swan-Luz, who's the executive director of Chautauqua Striders, and she shared a couple ways where she could envision partnering with the zone. She mentioned walking field trips during their youth summer STEAM camps, as well as a place for their mentoring and social emotional learning participants and their families to have fun and learn together during their monthly events, as well as offer admission tickets as prize incentives for their tutoring students. Accessible. The zone is ADA compliant. All of our exhibits were developed fully in compliance with modern standards so that everyone who enters our facility can experience play in a way that is meaningful to them. Examples include the heights of the exhibits, platforms in the iPlay structure climb, hand pedals on the bike exhibit for kids who might not be able to experience it astride, as well as audio feedback on the touchscreen interactives for blind guests. The zone will contain a variety of lighting and ambient noise features, but to ensure, again, that this is a place of fun and joy for all, we're committed to hosting regular, sensory-friendly play hours and dedicated play events at times that are convenient for families to visit with these features paused. And inclusive. Children's museums break the museum mold. They are not places where people are engaged in quiet, careful contemplation. Rather, they're noisy, happy places of learning, places where children of all ethnicities, social groups, cultures, and religions come together and learn about and from one another. They are a partner in the learning continuum, and for the zone to be a true partner, we need to honor the diverse community that Jamestown is becoming. Language. Both Spanish and English language will be present throughout the facility. And representation. The backdrop of the bleacher seating, which doubles as a classroom and program center, features a mural of fans that is designed to highlight the diversity of our community so that all children feel welcome and included. The arena as an indispensable driving force. So during 2019, we hosted 3 hockey tournaments for a total of 8 tournament days with 66 teams. And with the help of the Visitors Bureau, we know that our economic impact over those days was $900,000. And this past December, we brought back the NIST tournament. It was the 15th annual. It brought in teams from Pennsylvania, Illinois, Indiana, Maryland, New York, Ohio. And over 3 days, that tournament generated $263,000 in local economic impact. As John mentioned, we do enjoy $250,000 annual door swings. And once the zone is established, we anticipate to add 45,000 annual door swings onto that figure. The zone gives families even more reasons to visit Jamestown, and it fuels the success of our neighboring attractions and enhances planned developments to the riverfront and city parks. Nationwide children's museums add $5.5 billion to the economy annually. Every dollar spent ripples out to create $3.66 in economic activity, so we feel that the zone is a prime opportunity for Jamestown. It's time to get moving. The time is now and the need is critical. The zone presents opportunity for our community's youth that otherwise would not exist. We have intentionally designed a unique, engaging, and thoroughly modern play experience that excites kids, draws them in, gets them moving, interacting, playing, so they keep moving, interacting, and playing and growing. The zone is an inspiring play space, a dream space, a learn space, and a growth space. Something on par with the children's museums, cultural centers, play spaces, theme parks, adventure parks, that so many in our community would not otherwise have the chance to experience, all the while being something incredibly unique, something that is going to change the state of play in our community.
Thank you, Megan. In the last few weeks, I've had the quite an opportunity. A few weeks ago, Ms. Hockenberry brought her 4th grade class in. They were doing a science project in regards to the Olympics. And I opened the door they got off the bus, and I opened the door for them, and the kids started walking in, and this one young lady says, "It's the first time I rode a bus." That kind of hit me. Then a couple more kids started walking in, and I got my way into the lobby, and a young boy says, "This is my first field trip." Because of the pandemic, these young people have not been able to do field trips. That hit home with me. I turned to Megan and I said, I don't care what we charge them.
I accidentally undercharged them.
I said,
I didn't realize how many kids were coming.
this is why we're here. And to give those kids that opportunity. So there was about 60 kids that came in, and like I said, they were studying in their science classes about the Olympics, and they watched about 40 minutes of the Rebels hockey team practice. I took them down and trained them in backyard curling, and then we allowed them to ice skate. And this was just one of the ways that we are presently using discounted rates to bring in certain different school groups. Last week, we brought in about 250 students from Southwestern School. Mr. Rybecki, the principal, called me, asked me if they could come in, and we taught them curling, and they did the ice bumper cars. And then Dr. Mike McElrath from Purcell has set up with me to bring in 400 students from Purcell the last couple days of April and beginning of and May for good behavior and good grades, and to give the kids an opportunity to do something outside of school, which we're really excited about. This place has become pretty special to me. As once you retire one time and you get into something else, you have a certain unknowing what you're going to do next. And when I was asked to become the executive director here, I wanted to give back to my community. I had moved away and come back home. I was at the college for 19 years, and it was time for me to move on. And when the board asked me to come on board 3.5 years ago, I felt it was the right time and the right place. To watch young people come in this building and experience what they do, and the families that not only we touch, but they touch my life. And the zone is just gonna be an even bigger part of that for our kids in our community. So in closing, we would like to ask for us to all to work together, to inspire our children, to watch them dream and grow through the zone. So we thank you for your time tonight, and if there's any questions, we answer them.
I have one key. What's the overall cost of implementing the zone?
Okay, the overall cost for the complete building, the actual structure and the zone itself was 8.5, and the building being built was 4.5, and that has already been funded. Okay, so the zone itself is a $4 million project, and we are in the midst of fundraising right now, and we are closing in on the halfway point. We're already closing in on $2 million.
Who has funded you?
Who has funded us? The construction part, the 4.5, was the Gebby Foundation and the Ralph C. Wilson Foundation. The Community Foundation also funded for the research and development of the project. And then there's other foundations that are going with the second $4 million, the ones that we have of the $2 million as of right now.
Are they local or any national?
They're local right now. We do have New York State ESD grant for $450,000. Sheldon Foundation has granted us $150,000. And I'm sorry I don't have all of them, but that's just off the top of my head.
Also, as part of the campaign, we are pursuing support from private businesses and individuals as well, which make up a decent portion of that too, almost $2 million.
Any other questions?
I will leave these on the table. Their materials on the zone, as well as the full letters from Dr. Khan, Ms. Kristen Hockenberry, Jen Swamloos, and we're happy to supply more information upon request.
Very nice.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for your time, appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody.
And thank you for hosting us.
Thanks, John.
Yeah.
Presentation. Is there anybody from the public who would like to comment? Anybody wanna? Seeing none, we'll move on to our committees, and I think we'll start with housing. Do you want to do housing first?
Thank you, Mr. President. We did not have any resolutions, but we did discuss the roof, sewer, and laterals for homeowners, the water lines. They expect the applications will be available around June 1st. They have a lot to do to get everything in order, and are asking the public to be patient. They're being inundated with calls. The information obviously got out, but they're not prepared to take the applications. Prior to accepting applications, the community will be given 30 days notice. The application can be submitted for 30 days, and they may be retroactive possibly, but once all the applications are in after the 30 days have been opened, they will review all the applications. Some may be for individuals who already experienced emergencies and had to take care of it before the applications were completed. We did announce as well the actual annual action plans. The next one is scheduled for Jackson Taylor Park at 6 p.m. on April 12th. They'll be meeting at the Pavilion. That will be Ward 3. Ward 4 will be April 21st, also at 6 p.m. to meet at Lincoln School. The rescheduled date for Ward 2 is May 7th, and there'll be 2 that day, one beginning at 10. Is Washington School first or second?
Washington is second.
Okay, Washington School will be at noon and at 10 a.m. on May 7th. Which one?
Ward 5.
Ward 5, okay. But I can't remember, where's do you remember the location? Was it the school? Ward 5.
5 is Tower, right?
Tower, yes, okay, thank you.
Maybe six.
That's it.
No,
Oh, that's
it's
it.
Ward
All right,
5.
sorry, my
but
bad.
You're right there.
Fletcher.
Fletcher, okay, yes, it's at Fletcher, that's right. I apologize. We've had a couple of date changes and we make up for the one that had to be canceled this Saturday. We discussed there may be additional funding available from the New York State budget to help landlords. Again, it's been repeated, if you don't have documentation of their loss, there may not be anything that landlords can submit to make up for the lost revenue and income from non-payment of rent during the COVID pandemic. And we did discuss, it apparently is being worked on, the suggestion to house a number of information programs from Code, CRIC, and COI to house them on the city's website so that individuals and homeowners in the city or renters can look to that website, and it will all be linked so that they can go to one place to find all the information about what's available. So we thought that was a great suggestion and is being taken under consideration and being addressed at this time. All these, things will currently be posted on Facebook, and the city's website. And I believe that was it. Did I forget anything?
That's it.
Okay, that was it.
Any questions? Move on to, thank you, move on to Kim and Finance.
Thank you. We had, the first resolution is for warrants to be drawn and paid to respective owners in the sum of $7,143.84 in accordance with a bond and note requirement for a bond anticipation note series 2021 issue of May 6th. And that was approved, and that's in the general fund budget for 2022.
Kim, was that, or maybe Ryan can answer it, was that just interest alone, or is there any principal included in that number?
That's just.
Just interest alone. Number two, whereas the city of Jamestown on January 22nd, 2002 instituted a hiring freeze, it is resolved that effective immediately, Jamestown City Council hereby suspends the hiring freeze instituted by resolution number 200201C03 and authorize the filling of the following position due to the essential nature of the position. And this is an appraiser in the assessor's office due to a recent resignation. Again, the position is funded in the 2022 budget, and sorry to see the individual leave, and hopefully we can get that filled relatively quickly. That was approved out of finance. Resolution number 3, what we discussed, had a presentation on. The mayor's authorized to enter into an agreement with the Chautauqua County Humane Society to establish a community cats program for the purpose of community education and assistance in trapping, neutering, vaccinating, and returning community cats in an amount not to exceed $5,000. That was approved, again, part of the 2022 general fund budget. I just was asked through finance, there was no financial backup attached, so I don't know what the 5,000 entails, so if you could send that, that
Sure thing.
would be appreciated. But again, that was approved. Resolution number 4 was tabled for now for future discussion from the finance committee. Resolution number 5 was that the mayor and Tim Jackson, police chief, director of public safety, are authorized and directed to enter into the purchase agreement with Glock Incorporated of 6,000 Highlands Parkway, Smyrna, Georgia, 63 Glock 17 service pistols and 12 Glock 19 service pistols in the amount not to exceed $9,643.40, subject to the approval of Corporation Council as to form. This is funded through the rescue plan funding and was approved by finance. Just also to note that this was what the chief had discussed, was a same pistol is used by the county, correct? Yep, and we'll also see a decrease in ammunition costs. Resolution number 6 was designating $40,000 and no cents in ARPA lost revenue funds for the purpose of funding the purchase of the mobile data terminals for the 12 police vehicles. That was approved. Resolution number 7, resolved that the mayor is authorized to execute an agreement with R. Patty Excavating LLC, Jamestown, New York, for ADA sidewalk ramps 2022 based on the bid opening of April 6th, 2022 for a total bid amount of $276,780.00, subject to the approval of Corporation Council as to form. Is this throughout the city, or is this one specific location? Do you know? We were gonna ask Jeff, but
He's over there.
it's throughout the city? Okay. That's what we assumed, but. And resolution number 8 is the mayor is authorized to execute an agreement with Estabone Fredonia for the West 3rd Streetscape, Halleck Street to Hall, based on the bid opening of April 6th, for a total bid amount of $468,640.00, subject to the approval of the Corporation Council as to form. I was informed after we met that there's some questions and some research still to be done on this bid, but as it stood before, we knew that finance would approve it. We did have a brief executive session. Jen Ryan has the information for you. Nothing, no action to be taken, purely information on open litigation, just an update for us. And then on a personal note, I do want to add that I've been working with the United Veterans Council of Jamestown, and I provided Jen tonight a letter for the Memorial Day parade. And it will take place Memorial Day, beginning at 10 a.m. on Monday, May 30th. But it is out there, wanted to get that word out there that the veterans are having it. It will take place along with the ceremony at the cemetery, and information will be forthcoming.
Questions? Did you say number 4 was tabled? The
Yes.
travel resolution?
Yes. And I believe tabled out of public safety as well.
Very good. Move on to Brett. Public safety.
Thank you, President. As you said, it's Roberts from the Jamestown Humane Society, presenting TNVR program. I know a couple of things. This is a humane way to reduce the population of stray cats in Jamestown, and also to reduce the number of rabid animals. It's very expensive. If you're bitten by a stray cat, they cannot catch that cat, and to be treated for rabies, so that will be a cost savings there. Some of you may have seen that there was a rabid fox in Washington DC over the weekend that bit 9 people. So it's, yeah. We've been fortunate, we haven't had a lot of rabid animals in Suffolk County, but there are some programs out there that can help reduce those numbers. So the resolution that we had, was all appeared under finance. The first one was to establish the community CAP program with $5,000. That was allocated in the 2022 general fund budget. That was approved. The second item was tabled as well. Was Captain Samuelson with the FBI Academy. Future discussion. Resolution 3 was the resolution to purchase the Glock service pistols for the police department with ARPA funds. It was approved. And resolution 4 was a resolution designating $40,000 ARPA lost revenue funds for the purpose of purchasing the mobile data terminals for 12 vehicles to replace mobile data terminals that are probably 8 years old or so, that are failing and not able to repair them. That was approved as well. And then finally, we did have the ordinance to create the trap killer vaccine and return program in the city of Jamestown, in conjunction with the Jamestown Humane Society. That was approved as well. Questions?
Thank you. Moving on to public works.
Thank you, Mr. President. There was 2 resolutions that were before us, and the first one was the flat work and the concrete work, with the agreement going to our patty, and that was approved throughout the city. And the other resolution was approved by Tabone Construction for the project on West 3rd Street, and with one of the items in question that will be tabled further review. Other than that, it would be about it. And that project, it was totaled $468,640 for the 3rd Street streetscape from Hallett to Hall.
Thank you. Any questions? Any reports? Move on to Ann?
Just one comment, I just want to thank the Northwest Arena for hosting us. As they had mentioned, we worked with them to secure funding through the Empire State Development, as well as others. I know they're working through that process now for the zone, but we just appreciate them hosting us tonight. Other than that, I have no comments, except I hope you all have a wonderful Easter. I have no executive session.
Yeah, I was just gonna, also before we adjourn, thank the staff as well, Megan and Keith for presentation, and John from Zoom. And is a very nice venue, I don't know if anybody, how many people maybe got been in this particular area. Ryan, I think you're recording from here.
Over here.
Is it? It's really pretty, it's a really nice space, the zone is also going to be really nice and it's pretty. Just to be able to get out in public and go to different venues, different places to, see communities. And again, as I mentioned before, we're off next week for Easter, but the following week at our voting session, I will be touching base with some of the people on the council. Trying to put together a calendar throughout the summer to move around in different locations as well. So to get out and be public again in different parts of the city and not just have our weekend in one spot. So I appreciate that. Other than that, I think that is it. Unless anybody else has anything, everybody have a joyous Easter break and vacation.
Yeah, but you should also, it's Passover for the Jewish community, and I think it actually is part of Ramadan.
It is.
So this is the trifecta year, so we need to include all of our communities, and we're